Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Unconquered Podcast film session, film review. This time reviewing a win. A whole lot more fun to do these. Boston College, Florida State game. And also to those of you who are watching this on Thanksgiving, a happy Thanksgiving to you. Recorded this without any sort of live audience this time due to the holiday and just trying to make sure that we got this out. So going to go ahead and get to it and not really dwell on too much. I'm going to try to get to a few specific plays, but going to roll through pretty quickly here. So let's go ahead and get moving. So Boston College obviously kicks it out of bounds to begin. Florida State gets the good field position, and then opens. And again, this is who they are at this point. I mean, Willie Taggart early in the year was really going to push to be a run-first team. That is not what this team can be. And I really don't like DeAndre Francois' footwork or arm action or anything at this point. You see how he's spinning, that shoulder flying way open and then throwing sort of from that open spot. See how his shoulder's already open here? That's not a good throwing motion, kind of spinning around. That's pretty terrible, actually. But puts this one on the money, good protection, and then and then Helton getting the start, which says something. That tells you something about what they think of this young guy, even though he's not the highest rated recruit. And then here, this shows why. He takes a shot from the free safety and just keeps going. It's not a big guy, but he plays big, and he's going to be a pretty good player for Florida State for a while. So now they get to the running game, and Akers already looking like the player he's been the second half of the year, starting to look more comfortable. And I got to say, Walt Bell getting him into the pistol a little bit more has helped. Now that was off the hip, but they're also lining him up a little bit deeper, even off the hip. But here we go on the pistol. Not much you can do there because, well, you just have a total bust. Arthur Williams, this is a young lineman. When you have a D lineman plan, well, you're going to get this sometimes. And everybody else does their job. His job is to find the second level player, and when this backer comes now, he's just got to put a hat on a hat. You put a hat on a hat there, no problem. Instead, he gets a straight run through right at Akers, and, well, there's just not much you can do there. So now 2nd and 16, and this is why drives end. This, that busts a drive where, you had two plays to put you in scoring position, and let's just go ahead and get out of bounds as the wide receiver here. And see, this is the one problem with lining up so wide. And actually, that's not a good release. That's not good technique. When you line up so wide, it's easy for the defensive back to get, if he can get his hands on you at all, he can push you out of bounds, and then you're dead. There's just nothing you can do on some of those deep balls. And, they've got a good secondary. Boston College has a very good secondary and did a good job in this game of just pushing Florida State's receivers out of bounds. And when you're seeing that, at certain points, what you got to do is you got to make the adjustment. And instead of having him lined up 2-3 yards off the sideline, you shrink those splits down just a little bit and put him on the top of the numbers. And then he's got a chance to actually do something vertical. And here's Francois, covered himself once again because you get a free blitzer. And this actually, offensive line-wise, most teams are gonna give a free runner there because you have this 3 technique that crosses all the way over. So the center generally has to pick him up. Guard picks up the inside guy, which he has to do, and then you get the free runner. It's pretty much what you're going to expect. So good job by Francois to just get rid of it. So now 3rd and 16. That loss really kills you, and now you get a sack. And here's one of the things that against an offensive line that hasn't played a bunch together, This is just a twist. It's just an end tackle twist, and they're doing it with a backer at the tackle position lined up in the one technique. So they've got a guy who can do this and do it quickly. Normally, when you do this, you've got a thicker guy here in the inside, and that means that he's not going to be able to do this with as much quickness to the outside. This is a nice wrinkle by Georgia Tech to put the backer here and then run the end tackle twist here. Basically, the end's job is to occupy the tackle here and to try to make sure that the guard has to honor him as well, and then you're just looping him around. And the end pushes upfield to make sure that the tackle has to focus on him. Now attack the tackle's inside shoulder. Backer gets free, and then that's that. It looks to me like they've just got a four verts concept here, and Francois doesn't like what he sees. Now, for my money, what I teach my quarterbacks to do here in this context is if you see the pressure, you've got to find your one-on-one. It's 3rd and 16. Find your one-on-one and give a guy a chance. So your best bet is probably right there. This is a one-on-one on the short side. Now you have a safety back here, but put it out toward the sideline, maybe throw a back shoulder. Get it out now. Throw a back shoulder rather than pulling it down. As soon as you recognize the rush, get it down, know where your outlet's going to be if you get the rush, and get it to him. Another way to do this is right here at the bottom. If you see Terry, if you're starting at the bottom, just throw that down here. Throw it to his back shoulder or to his back. And if he can't turn around to get it, well, that's okay, but it's still not a sack. So, not my favorite thing, but anyway, Aguayo, this is just not good from Florida State special teams once again. And this is just, honestly, this is just getting bullied. These guys just get run through. They're supposed to just stay stable, and what happens? They get pushed, 5 yards into the backfield, and then Aguayo hits this way too low. That's got to be up a good bit higher. But yeah, you get both Florida State linemen here just get run over. That's just so bad. So now let's go ahead and get to Boston College. And again, Florida State does the right thing here, and they start the two big backers along with Woodby, and that allows some more physicality against the run. You see this meeting the blockers and not giving up as much space with the size here, although Warner gets bullied a little bit. But Christmas dominates his guy right off the bat, and you get nothing. And again, two big backers and Woodby. I like that look. What I don't like is the spot drops from the backers. They're just dropping to spots instead of pattern reading. We'll cover that later. Pretty good from the corner, though. Stanford Samuel's really shown out at corner since he's gotten there. Matthews has got to do a little better job there. So this is just a read, and they are basically saying 4 on 5 blockers and a quarterback. You can have a 2-man edge in the box, and we're just going to see if you can run it. They believe that Francois is not going to be able to run the ball, or be willing to run the ball. And Florida State is showing screens to the outside. And all you're reading is these guys. They're out of the box. That's an automatic run read, and they know it's an automatic run read. He's not staying there. He's trying to get there as quick as he can once the quarterback declares. But the thing is that you can't stop the run from there. There should be no way. And of course, Florida State does hold. Where's the hold? Right here. Defensive tackle playing offensive line right there. That's a hold. Good call. So now you're behind the sticks, 1st and 17. And what did they do here? They went ahead. They saw that they're playing real tight press. They moved receiver to the top of the numbers, giving themselves a chance here so he's not pushed out of bounds. And I'm not sure why you insist on Nooney being the guy to run this stuff, but, whatever. So now 2nd and 17. And this is just terrible from Francois. Plenty, clean pocket, but if you look at his throwing mechanics here, this is horrible. See that spinning foot in the back? That means he's not loading up. Right there, that spinning foot. Right there, how that foot starts out on the balls of the feet, on the balls of the foot right there. And right now, he's not loaded up. He's actually, this is like a golfer who's taking a swing and falling backwards. Not going toward the target at all. He's not delivering his weight toward the target. What he's doing is he's spinning his target on that axis. He's spinning his weight on that axis and then kind of slinging his arm around that axis. And if you don't have your timing perfect on that, you're going to throw high or you're going to throw wide, or in this case, you're going to throw both. This is awful. This is pretty much straight awful. And for a guy that's a really natural thrower, that's pretty awful. That's even worse. You can't sling. You never want to sling across your body and spin like that. He should be trying. Your general rule is you want to try to keep this shoulder closed and produce torque from the back or from the front hip opening toward the target, not spinning away from the target like that. And notice again, he's on his back foot by the time that, or he's moving backwards by the time that ball's released. This is really bad, and this is why he's been so scattershot. I mean, even there, you see that spinning. He's not pressing toward the target at all. And now you have Helton on 3rd and 17. And again, this guy's starting to become a featured guy. I mean, what's amazing is that he's already, in some ways, he's already becoming more of a go-to guy in what they're doing than Harrison, which is saying something because, I mean, Harrison is a stud. Amazing that he was basically undiscovered until they offered him. Good evaluation by the staff to go ahead and bring him in. So now we see Kando as a starter. Again, the two bigs. And now Boston College doing what Boston College does, going big. Florida State basically matching up with the backers, or with the corners there in a cover 2 look so that it's effectively a 9-man box. And all they're doing is just trying to play contain there. They've got the outside gaps. This is pretty good here. Where it's pretty good is look at Kando. Kando's starting to actually round back into form in terms of being healthy. And what he does is he takes on that end and he cuts down the space, and then you got your 2 5-stars from last class. You have Marvin Wilson just eating up that block, and coming off of that, there's not a whole lot of space there. The defensive line eats that up. So same kind of thing here. Once again, Christmas in the backfield. Marvin Wilson being double-teamed, not giving up too much ground. And they let Burns free because he's got quarterback responsibility, but he's quick enough to go ahead and get on that. Dillon's a good back to fall forward there. And then you see, again, Florida State defensively, this is more of what you expect from them in terms of defensive line being able to hold up like this. That's Christmas holding up. That's Marvin Wilson doing a great job of keeping low pad level here. Staying low, you bury that. He gets down and buries that, and that allows Warner and Woodby to get into that hole, find the backer, and keep him down. And now 4th and 1. Once again, defensive tackles, they win that. And the same thing with Kando. Kando wins that. They did not get this. I mean, you look at where the quarterback is. I guess he extends the ball. If they want to give him credit for that right there, once he gets there, maybe. But I think that's a stretch. I don't think they got this. That's... wow. That's something. So now you're going to get the same look and get that little bit of a boot. Just running a little pivot with the edge guy. And Florida State's in position there. Good job to hold off so you don't get a targeting. Moving quickly here. Notice they're snapping it with 30 seconds. So this is a really quick snap. And they're setting up quick with that bunch. Florida State's done a good job of scouting this. They're expecting something to the boundary here. You see them right here. They know quick snap off of something like that. In the bunch, expect toss. And where are they running? Right to toss. Good job by the backers recognizing that, calling that out. This is good film study. And once again, note the corner, that being Stanford Samuels, doing a good job of taking on the block, getting off the cut, and getting up and making the play. Samuels, like I said, he's playing at an all-ACC level as a corner. Wasn't nearly as good as a safety, but he's starting to play at an all-ACC level, if not better, as a corner in the last part of this year. He's been terrific. And the backers doing a good job running to it. Both guys finishing up, cleaning up on along with Stanford Samuels. So now you got your 3rd and 7. A lot of freshmen, a lot of young guys on this field, including this guy. Now notice they did not go Delta here on 3rd and 7. Given Boston College's big personnel and all that, this is standard formation. Standard personnel. Stand standard. And just trying to play to that. Once again, 30 seconds on the clock. This is a quick snap. Dylan actually did get that one. And where this one, they did a good job on doubling Christmas here, and Christmas gets turned. Kando gets washed. So Kando's coming from this side. And see how the tight end washes him down. That creates the seam. Then you're able to get the back following the guard through. Not going to stop that all that often. That's why it's smart to go for it on 4th down. And they should have done this same 4th and 1 later in the game. They could have probably put this game away, and instead Adazio chose to kick, which was a gag. All right, so now this is Hamsa's interception, and this is an athletic play right here because they're showing outside zone, get the little boot across. This is the old Jimbo Fisher favorite in terms of the little boot here, bringing the guy across the formation from the H-back position. You tell the quarterback, read long to short, come back to that H-back if you're feeling good about that. where this is coming from is right here. This tight split, he's running a little drive route across, and Nasirudeen's here. He does a good job of recognizing he's got the vertical because they're just playing a cover 2 look on this side to this formation. So somebody's going to take the flat, somebody's going to take the vertical. He's got the vertical. And Hamza does a good job of running across there. He's the better athlete and just takes it away. You can see the receiver does a pretty good job of heading that up, but there's no reason to buy anything going that way with the quarterback rolling. So he does a good job of reading through there. And from here, this is just being faster than the guy you're going against. And a throw that needs to be in here. Thing is, this is a tight window because if he throws this ball out in front, Stanford Samuels might go up and get it. If he puts this ball out here, that might be Stanford Samuels. Now, the right throw is actually not to throw here. What he should have done is gone to his tight end up in here and given him a chance to go up against Westbrook. That would have been the better choice for the quarterback to throw this out to this spot. Let your tight end go up and get it, but made the mistake and paid for it. And this, oh my goodness, this is horrible. So Florida State comes out after the turnover, and they say, you know what? With what they're playing, we've got a chance to just beat them over the top. They know they're going to get a one-on-one against that safety once you clear the backers. So they're putting Wilson here, and Wilson can run. They're putting Wilson there to use his speed. He clears the backer well. And first of all, Francois should not be waiting and pumping. Shouldn't be pumping. He's showing where he's going here. And secondly, look at that foot. See how he's throwing off the toe there? Toes pointed toward the target. What he is not doing is driving off the instep and letting his weight shift properly through the core. Instead, he spins, and that's just terrible. And as a result, what does he do? He mistimes the throw a little bit in terms of where that's going. This is basically that. Again, for those of you golfers out there, this is that weak push fade that you get when you don't finish the swing because you're spinning and you get a little behind, and all of a sudden you hit that weak push fade. Well, this is a weak push fade from Francois, and it's a ball that he generally will throw well, but his mechanics are so poor right now that even this looks terrible. Because the thing is, with this matchup, what you tell your quarterback is all you have to do, because you have a dig on the other side, check this safety. If this safety comes down, all you have to do is throw this across the field. The one mistake you can't make is to throw it behind the receiver. But throw it across the field and ideally up the field. But as long as you throw it across the field, you're okay, because let the receiver run to it. Whatever you do, don't throw it behind him. Well, where does he throw it? Behind and short. That ball should be up in here. That should have been a touchdown. I mean, this was well schemed. They saw this. This is the same basic scheme, slightly different, but it's the same kind of thing that they ran to get Terry open on the game winner, and this was just an awful throw. I mean, that is as badly as you can throw that, really. And the defense now on sudden change, suddenly not looking quite as good. So, this is something that they've got to improve on, is to be a little better on sudden change. Now, one thing that's different is they've got the second group of defensive tackles in, and there's a pretty big drop off there compared to Wilson and Christmas at this point. Notice also you're getting 56 in here. At the mic. So they're a little lighter at the mic. It's interesting to pull 35 out of there at the mic backer. He's not been great, but he's been the next best. And 56 getting some playing time here tells you a little bit too in terms of, whether he's been developing. But what you get here, this is just a zone play. Everybody's stepping. This is really good. I'm so impressed by how Boston College is coached on the offensive line every time I break down their film. Watch their center here. What they're doing is they're comboing this 3 technique. So the guard has to pass him off to the center. Guard does a good job of getting on him, but watch the center's footwork to turn back and get his butt face in the sideline. That's really good. And Woodby does a good job of getting to his gap and making close to a play, but he doesn't quite finish it. And that's just Dylan's a man at times carrying that ball. And the backside pursuit has to make the tackle here. This has to be tighter. This has to be a better effort from 13 here. He's got to come down. If you watch the best edge guys, they're coming down hard with low pads right now and taking that shot. He should be taking that shot now, but he's thinking, you see his body language. Body language is up. He's going down. Oh, he's up. And now he comes in late. And he should be running to that. He should be sprinting to this spot right now to finish, even if he's going down. See, he thinks he's being tackled. But he should be sprinting to this spot to finish and take one more shot on him. And instead, he's just a little bit late, and it's a difference in 10 yards. Then BC, with a false start, doing their best Florida State impression. And now Florida State has gone with the starters at the defensive tackles, and makes a difference. Those guys, this is a different defense with Wilson and Christmas on the field. Now they've got Wilson, Christmas, and Durden on. And Durden doing his work there too, but Christmas getting that kind of penetration, that's big time. Wilson, Christmas, and Durden as 3 tackles. You get Wilson right over the guard. Now they can go back to regular personnel here. And all they're trying to run is a little throwback here to the quarterback. And got to give Jackson credit for staying home. He reads pass all the way. And now what does he do? Gets over top the quarterback. That's pretty good. Jackson staying home saves a touchdown there. And then this is just poor from BC, because there is something there if the receiver finds the space, because Florida State's in a little zone. Out of this bunch, what you want is you want to get this trail guy right there. Just curl up and catch that and kind of stop and catch that. That's what Brown sees. Instead of running into coverage, right in here, slow up a little bit, and he's got a chance. But overall, pretty good series from Florida State defense to stop that, and they get rewarded with a miss. And that ends up looming very large later in the game. So now first down run, and what do you see? Well, you see a right tackle standing up. His second step isn't real good here. 1, 2. The second step needs to be further inside. He doesn't actually, and then he just isn't good enough at this point. Not strong enough. It's good to get what he did there from Akers. And once again, you got Harrison here, and this is where Harrison has a chance to be pretty good in the future. He actually turns this up too early. If he reads his block properly here, he hits this at this angle, and he's off to the races. But he's wanting to get upfield, and then, you're coached to do that. But read your block. He's not blocking out. He's blocking in. Hit this angle, and you are really good. Instead, he presses it, and you see this a lot. This is what Akers was doing earlier in the year too, trying to press too early and then having to throttle down and come back outside. No, just press that here on your block. And now you end up with a misalignment from the receivers. See, that problem is not exclusive to the last staff, for what it's worth. These are things that are difficult to deal with any group of receivers. That's just poor. So this is basically what Florida State's own Delta, one of Florida State's own blitzes. This is the old Michigan State blitz. And at this point, you've got to do a better job of recognizing who gets passed off. And really, this has to be better awareness from one of the guards or the center. Recognize that they're taking off and start looking for somebody from this side to peel back to. That's what you're going to see good lines do. You're going to see somebody from over here peel back. And they're looking, but they don't pick up the safety blitz here. It's well disguised. Francois takes a shot. And this should have been blocked. This was, again, very poor technique. I would be throwing a fit if my guys in high school did this. Actually, one of my guys did at one point, and so he got fired. And you've got to close this down. The way this works is block out over here, and then everybody on the back line, your job is to take anybody coming up the A gaps, the gaps between the long snapper and the guards here. They bring 4 up the A gaps, one in kind of a trail position, but your job is to close up and nobody comes inside. And you do not worry about the second level player. He can't get there. You have to go 1, 2, 3. He should be taking the number 2 guy. Instead, he tries to take the number 1, or take the trail. And the number 2 guy absolutely gets in there, and that he just missed the block, but he was there early enough. It is very fortunate that was not a block. Instead, it's a 15-yarder. It's the difference. Again, that's a lucky break. This is Fred Jones has to take him. The other thing, though, is that 90 has to be tighter. You've got to be tighter. You cannot let that seam happen, especially with the left-footed punter. The one place there can't be a seam is right there. If you're going to let one happen, it has to be right there. But there should be no seam. Fred Jones should be blocking out to him. Christmas should be blocking inside out. He gets too far out, and they get a free runner right up the gut. And that they're lucky that was not blocked. Just going to zip through some of this stuff. It's pretty good from the O-line there. Not much really for the back to do, but 3rd and 4. Man, I'm amazed by how badly he's spinning. I mean, he doesn't have pressure here. You got to step toward the target. You got to deliver your weight toward the target, but still manages to get a completion. And that is just terrible. I'm not sure Harrison is fully running here. Maybe he is. Once again, just getting pushed out of bounds. Not winning at the line of scrimmage. And that's not good route running. That's poor route running. If you want this, you've got to press that DB's leverage, knowing where he wants to protect. And notice, he doesn't press any leverage, doesn't make the DB move off his spot at all. He knows what's coming. And so then he's just able to hedge out of bounds. That's good coverage, but that's poor route running. Haven't seen a whole lot of development in terms of route running from this wide receiver group all year. They haven't really developed in that regard. Blocking-wise, you got to give them some credit. But as route runners, there's been some. They could still be better as a group. This is terrible. One of these guys has to be designated as the guy that on a fair catch goes behind the returner inside the red zone. See, he's yelling fair catch, fair catch. So now one of you has to go behind the fair catch and head to the goal line. That's your job. But no. You couldn't put that this is a wedge right in tight. That's a great punt, and they screw it up. It's just poor special teams. It's just power here from BC, pulling the guard and the H-back. Pretty good job by Kando here. And this is where you're starting to see him flash a little bit, compressing that down. It could be just a little bit more compressed, and they do a good job of pinning Marvin Wilson here. This is just well blocked. And then working their way back to Warner, who, this is a false step. This is bad right here from Warner. He's seeing, I'm not sure why he's seeing all the hats go this way here, but he should be reading the pull, knowing that's coming this way. So now he gets out of position, and he's able to be pinned by the tackle. But the guy that does it right is right here. Watch, downhill from the start, triggers right into the hole, buries the H-back, goes low on him, and that gives Westbrook a chance coming up to fill. Brooks with the tackle as well. So now just zone. Who gets washed here? Robert Cooper here. Watch him. You can't do that. He's got to stay down the line in this A-gap. He gets not only cut off, but he gets put on the ground. Wilson gets double-teamed. And now the guard who sort of initially pokes at Cooper now can go ahead and pin that linebacker. And this is designed as an outside zone to cut back. And they're able to get everybody washed. And then Brooks is too small at the point of attack. He gets mashed. Man, he's getting mashed. And actually, Dillon doesn't read this well, because if Dillon hits this way, he's got a chance to score. Dillon's got to find where he should be reading the butt here and reading his extra blocker coming this way right now. You do that, this scores. Instead, he hits it north-south. But good run. Could have been a lot longer. Would have had a chance to score. They're starting to eat up front. Much better from Cooper there. This pair is gonna be awfully tough next year. Cooper just ragdolls that. I guess that's the center. Yeah, he ragdolls the center. That's a veteran center, and Cooper just ragdolls him, gets a hold of a ball carrier, get a 1-yard gain. I think this might have been to set up a double pass later. And all they're doing, they're reading the box. It's really 3 over 3, but he's way back, so you're going to go ahead and take that. That's why their offense isn't real efficient. Pretty good coverage there, and I like the zone blitz here, getting the backer actually pattern matching correctly here, and a better job from the corner here of maintaining his leverage than what we saw last week. Jamming with the correct arm. Jamming with the outside arm. That keeps you in a better position. Still a little bit too much inside, but DJ's got to catch this. This punt is in position to be caught. You got to catch that punt because that is dangerous for your returners. That's poor from DJ. Just going to run through this. All that is inside zone. A bust up front once again. Now you get Helton. And once again, man, does that guy run through tackles? Not much to say about that. Helmet comes off at the end, but man, does he plays strong. I mean, look at this. Just a little bump pass. Good blocking on the edge. I mean, that's solid. Just not much movement, but pretty good run. And that's been a Taggart staple, this little zone designed to peel back all the way. All you're trying to do is get that edge guy pinned. Good job by McKitty getting him to pin. As everybody steps, the D-line steps, and now you just have the back cut back immediately. It's pretty good. Same play, but this time going front side. Good running here from 9. And man, does he really has burst. That, Helton is really, really impressing me here. Trying to run a little slip here. So I like the progression here. So first of all, you have a little slip screen. And actually, if we want to go a little further, you've got trips to the boundary, right? Trips to the field, run zone play that's designed to kind of come outside. Trips to the boundary, same play. It's exactly the same play, and you're reading this. They got enough, 3 over 3 here, so now you're running it. This time it goes front side, gets you to a 3rd and 1. Now you run the same thing, but they got 2 over 2, and you got the field. So now you get your first down. And man, does he burst. And now you've got your 3rd out of the same look. Now you're running a slip. You're going to show the same thing. Now, the problem here is that this should be a run read. I don't like the slip call. This is one where you should be slip calling it if they've got 3 over 3. If they've got a 4th over there, you're not going to get it. But Helton gives you a chance. But if you got a 4th over here, see, when he was in the box a minute ago, that made a difference. But in the boundary, this doesn't seem to be working because they're keeping him in. But as soon as they got to the field or he got to the middle of the field and he's in a little bit, you got a chance to hit this slip. Good read by Francois. Good job by Helton just getting back to close to the line of scrimmage. It's a good idea. And then this is just horrible. So they're in a cover 2. So as soon as you see that, you know what you've got. This is cover 2. So he thinks it's quarters. He reads quarters initially because what you're reading is a flat across. This is giving you a hint, though, that it might not be quarters because of his leverage. And how he's starting to step back. He's playing open. But as soon as you see this, check your safety. Pre-snap, he's got his eyes on the backside like he should. As soon as you see that, now you know that's not quarters. He's getting back to a deep zone. This is going to be 2. Either 2 or he's rotating to 1. He's staying on the hash. Now you check here to make sure on the snap, this is cover 2. If it's cover 2, then this guy's not going to run with the outside receiver. So he's going to be taken off up the field. And if you're throwing the little quick out here against quarters, which is what they're trying to do, and we've broken this down on teams running against Florida State all year, because what you're doing is he's running off with the vertical, and then he has, as soon as you've got an outside vertical, he has to be responsible for number 2, vertical stem out, and now you got that. Well, this isn't quarters. As soon as you see him taking off and bailing, you know he's going to be sitting as a hard corner. If he sits as a hard corner, you can't throw this. What is he looking at? He's staying there, hard corner. And not only is he throwing into a hard corner, look at that. That is horrible mechanics. His weight shift and everything is coming on this axis, not this axis. He's on this axis, spinning around his body with no weight, no proper weight shift. That is just terrible. And as a result, what does he do? As we've talked about, you're going to get that little weak fade. He throws that weak fade behind his receiver right to the hard corner that he's not supposed to be throwing at. And that's that. Where should he have thrown this? Right here. Right there. As soon as you recognize what you're getting here, you have a couple choices. But your best bet is to check down right there. You recognize that he's playing hard. He's going to run with as a cover 2, he has to run with the vertical. So now you're going to have to come underneath. You get a chance to get a first down right there. Should be thrown to your back right now. Check it down. It's just terrible. Just terrible. And they come back with the triple reverse pass, or double reverse pass, I guess. Florida State covers it well. They were ready for the tricks in this game. I got to give Harlan Barnett and staff credit. And again, backers doing a pretty good job here. What's encouraging here, I want you to pay attention to 2 backers, Warner and Woodby, the young guys. Woodby triggers quickly, gets into the offensive lineman and presses this such that Dillon has no cutback lane. That's good. Now, watch Warner. Getting down the line of scrimmage, gets a long arm into the offensive lineman, comes down, in on the tackle. Encouraging play. Young guy getting his hand on the ball. That, of course, was 4th and 4. Now, they wouldn't go for it on 4th and 1 later. Now you get the pistol, get Akers in the pistol, get him moving forward a little bit. Better than nothing. And this is why you just quota this guy. You say, I'm going to throw so many out. I'm going to throw so many deep balls to him. Wide side of the field. It's one-on-one. Just occupy the safety with the underneath guy. And the safety's in the middle of the field. He can't get all the way out there. Just throw this up. This isn't even a good throw. But, sometimes guys are just that good. Nice little push-off, a little hand fighting, a little defensive pass interference. Still makes the catch. Why are you bailing from this pocket? Plenty of time. Find your guy. Stay in. Don't bring your eyes down. Check backside. Right here's your play. That's your throw. So the way this is designed, you're picking on him. So he's over the number 3, and you've got to choose, make him choose. Is he going to follow number 3? As soon as his pads turn, you should be throwing it over his head to the end zone up in here, about 15 yards deeper, and letting Matthews run away. That ball's got to be out right now. Throw it now. Why is he not just throwing this ball right up in here? This is a touchdown. There's no one there. Throw it right now. He's looking in the right spot. And what it looks like is he's wanting to throw the Y on the cross, but he should be throwing the post over top. Throw that post now. You got plenty of time to step into it, lay that out there, and that's a touchdown. It's a good, well-designed play, good timing there. Once again, 5-on-5 in the box. Quarterback should be able to get a run. Gets 5. Should have been more than that, but didn't block it well. False start on Jawan Williams. Once again, just terrible mechanics. Spinning, throwing down and across. See, watch him whip the arm down to the front hip here. You'll hear some quarterback coaches talk about, pull the dollar out of the pocket. Reach across and get finish your follow through by pulling that arm across your body so that you're, like reaching around to the opposite pocket. But that is the opposite of what you should be training a quarterback to do. That's what he's doing here. He's coming around and whipping that arm down. But the arm should not be coming down. The arm should be extending down the line toward the target. You should be seeing it extending down toward the target instead of pulling down. And he is pulling down and across hard. Just awful throwing mechanics, and that's going to lead to terrible accuracy issues. Getting your goat up on the screen there. Again, the defense just winning up front here. This is about as well as you're going to expect anybody to play against Boston College's run game. And once again, you see Stanford Samuels. This is just a cover 2. He's got flat. Brown reads it correctly. This is just a smash concept over here. Reads it correctly, but you can't take that candy. You've got to throw this away because he plays in between and takes away the corner route. Did it last week, did it again this week. He is playing at a very high level. Of course, 2 flags take away any special or any field position edge you have, and then Francois is in a giving mood. It is the holiday season coming up, and he feels as though they gave us one. We should make sure we give it back. Well, what is he doing here? Now this is poor from the receiver. Who is that? I guess that's Terry. Receiver's got to run a little skinny here, and he gets cut off, and he doesn't fight through it hard enough. He's supposed to be fighting over top of this, and Francois is anticipating this, but against that coverage, he should be going opposite side anyway. He should be coming right here. Because this is tight down here. You got 3/2. Here you got 3/2, but you got space. So here's the guy you should be throwing to, right there. But he's throwing to the guy he likes, which tends to be his way. Man, it's just awful to see what's happened to his throwing mechanics. Let's get it out. Should have had a chance out on the field position after that pick. But again, this is what you like to see as a coordinator. You see your end, take on the puller here. Like to see him make that tackle, but he does a good job of compressing it, forcing it outside, and from there you get the backer who fills, runs it inside out, and then you see corner and safety and Mike all just run into the football. That's good defense. Once again, Cooper and Marvin Wilson eating up blockers on the inside. That allows the backers to come downhill. Not much you're going to be able to do there. I mentioned those helmets are ugly. This is where they're kind of getting in trouble with the spot drops. Backers are dropping to space. He's not covering anything. He should be checking through number 2 and then finding the backside and helping out underneath, but he's dropping just straight to the middle. We'll get to more of that in a few minutes. Let's go ahead and keep rolling. Good coverage downfield. Yeah, this isn't a spot drop problem. That's just losing in man. Or in your matchup. There's a guy there. Now this is a problem. So they go with a to forego the technical term, trips with a tight end here. And what they're going to do is they're going to run off the safety, run off the corner, and what has to happen? Backside safety has the responsibility of reading number 3 here. And see, he gets in the wrong spot. Should be either swapping off to take number 2 here, or with the other safety taking over top here, or just running through. My guess is swapping is what they're supposed to do. So Westbrook should be popping this way. He winds up in a bad spot. I want to highlight something here. Brian Burns at the backer position. Tight end climbs to the backer, does a good job. But that is what, around parts where I grew up, that would be called a hold. That's a hold, folks. Now, the safety still needs to keep his correct shoulder. He should be keeping his shoulder clean here. So that's on Westbrook, but that's a hold, folks. That's got to get called. Now, who's supposed to be watching this? It's supposed to be the umpires watching in here. Referee should be watching the backs and should be seeing this as well, but it's the edge guy down here that should be calling it. And is he even looking? I don't see him. Yeah, he should be calling that, but didn't. Line judge should be calling that. Helton, he just breaks tackles. Some guys just run hard, run more solid. Nice little design here. They've been loading up the middle of the field to take it away. Well, they blitz this time. So they bring the safety. They go basically a max protect here. So 3 receivers out there and then running a post corner one-on-one against the safety with DJ. Just run him off with the number 1. You see Nooney running the corner off, and now you get a post corner on a max protect. That's really tough to cover. That safety's got no chance because he's got to cover across the field this way, and then he gets turned around, and that's easy. Now, Jawan Williams here, this is not good. He's got to not stop his feet. He's got to commit to actually blocking that guy instead of holding him there. That's could have been called. It would have been ticky-tack, but now you get your reverse, and man, is he smooth. At some point, he's just going to take off. All day to throw here against the 4-man rush. It's because they're going max protect initially. What they're doing is they're just keeping the back in, and then they're chipping the end. That makes sure. And this right here is a good chip by McKitty. I want you to take note of this. This is good toughness right here. This is what you want from your chip. Watch him chip, and he's not just chipping. He's taking the ribs. Oh, take it to the body. Now watch the reaction. Oh, man. That's a shot. That one hurt. And that's what you want. If you're going to chip the edge, chip the freaking edge, guys. Bam. Put it right in the gut, right in the ribs. Put him on the ground. Make him think twice about wanting to come around that edge. Ugh. And the thing is, this is Francois giving up on this when he's got another. He's got a good bit more he could do here. If he's not feeling comfortable in the pocket, then he can scramble out this way a little bit and not just throw that away. He's got a chance to extend this because he's got plenty of protection. And even if he doesn't, right here, take your check down, man. Just stick it out here. There's no reason to throw this ball away. Just take your check down. Just keep making a profit. It was 3 receivers against 8 in the secondary. I get it, but take your check down and you still get 5-6 yards, if not more. That was a bust because of a high snap. This is supposed to go to Akers. Good rescue by Francois. Nice throw here. Still terrible mechanics. And that ball is floating because he's throwing just without any proper weight shift. And all this is basically a hunt concept. We ran this same play. The high school I coached at, so we trying to get him across, vertical, out, and then little post curl right here. And what you're doing is you're reading this so that if you're going to read this side across. So you're going 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4th read is across. So you're checking the quick out first. Are they playing over the top? So they've got numbers there, so you should be coming off of that. Basically on pre-snap, you know this isn't going to be there because they've got the flat defender and they've got the deep defender. They've got the extra player there, so you should be coming off of this right away. You should be reading this side. So now you go, that's out. Now you check right here, and all he's doing is hunting for space in the middle here. That's why you call it a hunt concept. So hunt, just kind of like a dig posts, looking for space behind the backers and across in front of the safety. There's McKitty. He's covered. So as soon as you see he's covered, what do? You come to your post curl. And I just lost my trackpad. Give me a moment. So now you get your post curl, and you're reading him. If he stays there and you get your space, you're perfectly good. Just throw that right inside him. Good route by Nooney. And this would be your final check down. Good route by Nooney. Good read by Francois, being patient. Good protection by the line. That's well run. And now you get a favorable box read. They're trying to take away the pass. You got 4 over 3. He's out of the box. 5 on 5, plus the back, plus the quarterback. You better be able to run in this look. This is what Notre Dame ran too. Nice job by, who is that? Is that Arnold? Yeah, that's Mike Arnold winning against this defensive tackle here. And then Eberle getting on the backer. And Akers getting 9. It's pretty good. Now you're getting that same look. Should be able to run the same thing again. Nice run. So they're coming off of this hard. They're showing the look, and then they're basically sprinting him to the box. So they're saying, you're not going to throw out here because we know how your read system works. So we're going to come off of that with the corner. Corner coming hard into the play. It's almost like a green dog corner. So you got nothing there. But good job here on getting the edge. They know they're expecting this play, so they're blitzing the corner to take it, and then Akers just makes him miss and gets another 7-8 yards. That's pretty good. We don't care about Ohio State, Maryland, or the Irish pitching a shutout. And now you get the little reverse here, trying to go with the reverse pass. And I get it because, they haven't been able to run it real well or be real consistent in the red zone. Still not a big fan. And this is where DJ ideally throws it away, but because he sees him fall, I think he's going to take off. See, he's about to throw this away. He sees him fall, and he says, I can get up and do it. And then he gets up quicker than he expects, and you get your loss. And that kills him. 2nd and 19. And this should have been a catch here. This is McKitty again on a little, looks like a hunt route again. Finds the space this time. Doesn't get his head around. This is a good throw right here. Terrible mechanics, but a good throw. And McKitty's got to make that catch. So again, you're working. They got 3 over 2 here, so you're going to you're going to work this side, look for the hunt behind the backers. As soon as he clears that backer and you've got space in front of the safety, you throw it now. That's on time. Good throw. Make the catch. That puts you in a position to score here. Instead, you got nothing. Best you can do. So let's go ahead and get to the second half, and we'll bust out of here pretty quick.